Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news. Hey, Packers fans, get ready, because what's happening right now in the backfield of Green Bay is quite intriguing and could have serious implications for how this team shapes up for the upcoming season. It's a story about resilience, competition, and strategic moves that might just define how successful the Packers can be in 2024 and beyond. So buckle up, because we're diving deep into the latest updates from Green Bay's training camp, focusing particularly on the running back room, a position that's been under the spotlight lately due to injuries, signings, and emerging talent. Now, everyone knows that the running back position is crucial, especially in a team like Green Bay that's always trying to strike a balance between a potent running game and an effective passing attack. And this year, the Packers are no different. They're trying to find the right mix, the right guys who can step up and contribute, whether as starters or reliable backups. But right now, the focus is on how injuries are impacting their plans, especially with Israel Abanikanda, who's been fighting for a spot since he was claimed off waivers in late July. Abanikanda, a fifth-round pick from 2023, has been trying to carve out a role on either the 53-man roster or the practice squad. But unfortunately, during practice, he's been held out due to a hamstring injury, and this could pose a real threat to his chances of making the team or even sticking around into the regular season. This hamstring injury is noteworthy because it's not just a minor setback. It's a potential obstacle that the Packers will have to monitor closely in the coming weeks. Especially with the preseason game against the Indianapolis Colts coming up this Saturday, every practice rep counts. The team's coaching staff, including head coach Matt LaFleur, will be watching carefully to see how Abanikanda responds and how his injury heals. This injury, while not a season ender, is significant enough to delay his progress and perhaps affect his opportunity to showcase his talent in the final preseason games. But what's interesting is that the Packers didn't just sit back during this period. They took proactive steps to bolster their backfield depth. On Tuesday, they signed Tyrion Davis-Price, a former San Francisco 49ers running back and a 2022 third-round pick. This move signals that the Packers are serious about having reliable options behind their starter, Josh Jacobs, who's expected to be the workhorse for this team in 2024. Davis-Price, wearing number 44, was back on the field practicing with the team during training camp, and that's a good sign. Even though his NFL career has been somewhat limited, he's only appeared in 8 games over 3 seasons. He's still a guy with potential. His most active season was his rookie year with the 49ers, though his efficiency was modest, with an average of just 29 yards per carry on 34 rushes. Still, Davis-Price has shown flashes of talent and could be a valuable piece in this puzzle, especially if injuries hit harder than expected or if the coaching staff wants to keep a fresh, versatile running back on hand. And speaking of injuries, it's worth noting that the Packers also saw Emmanuel Wilson and Marshawn Lloyd return to practice after dealing with knee and groin issues, respectively. These two have been competing for backup roles behind Jacobs, and their return is a positive sign. Lloyd, a third-round pick from 2024, has been hampered by injuries in his rookie year, which has limited his opportunities to showcase what he can do. But with his talent and the potential he showed, he's still very much in the mix. Wilson, on the other hand, rushed for more than 500 yards as a second option last season, proving that he's a dependable, explosive runner who can contribute when called upon. This competition, of course, makes the Packers' backfield quite interesting. Chris Brooks is also in the mix, having averaged 5 yards per carry over 24 games, albeit in limited action. He's a guy who quietly has been making strides, and with the right opportunities, he could push himself into a more prominent role. All these players, Lloyd, Wilson, Brooks, are vying for a spot as a backup behind Jacobs, and the coaching staff and GM Brian Gutekunst are clearly paying close attention to how they perform in these final weeks of camp. Gutekunst recently mentioned that he feels very comfortable with the current depth. He highlighted the talent and ability of Wilson and Brooks, emphasizing that they're proven commodities in the league. But he also expressed a strong desire to see what Marshawn Lloyd can add once he's fully healthy, hinting that the team is still open to making tough decisions as roster cuts approach. Now, what does this all mean for Green Bay fans? Well, it's a clear indication that the team is carefully balancing experience and potential. They want reliable backups, but they also want players who can bring something unique to the table. The fact that they're leaning towards keeping 4 running backs on the initial 53-man roster suggests that the competition is fierce, and spots are not guaranteed. With the roster cut-down deadline looming, August 26th at 4 p.m. ET, it's crunch time for these players to make their case. Every practice rep, every preseason snap, could be the difference between making the team or heading to the practice squad or being cut altogether. This constant shuffle and competition at the running back position is reminiscent of the Packers' historical approach to building depth. Green Bay has always valued versatile, adaptable players who can step into different roles when needed. Whether it's a guy like Wilson, who's shown he can carry the load when called upon, or a younger player like Lloyd, who has the potential to develop into a primary backup, the Packers are making strategic moves to ensure they're covered. And GM Brian Gutekunst's comments reflect a lot of confidence in the current group, but also a clear understanding that the roster can still evolve in these final weeks. Looking ahead, it's exciting to think about how this backfield will shape up once the regular season kicks off. Josh Jacobs will be the primary guy, of course, and the team will rely heavily on his ability to carry the load. But behind him, the competition is heating up. Will Lloyd finally get healthy and show what he can do? Can Wilson or Brooks step up and cement their spots? Or will Tyrion Davis-Price, with his NFL experience and fresh energy, surprise everyone and secure a spot? These are the questions that Packers fans are asking right now, and it's these last few weeks of camp that will reveal the answers. Of course, the Packers have a rich history of developing talent and making strategic roster moves. They're known for their ability to find diamonds in the rough and turn players into key contributors. This year is no different. They're building a roster that's not just about star power, but about depth, versatility, and competition. The coaching staff, led by LaFleur, is emphasizing that they want players who bring different skill sets to the table. The diversity of talents among Wilson, Lloyd, Brooks, and even Tyrion Davis-Price gives the Packers options, and GM Gutekunst's comments about being very comfortable with the group show that they're confident in their current plans. Now, let's not forget that the NFL preseason is always a wild ride. Injuries, surprises, last-minute additions, they're part of the game. And for the Packers, every snap counts. The next couple of weeks will be critical as they finalize their roster, making tough decisions that will impact their depth chart and ultimately their chances of making a deep playoff run. It's a balancing act, keeping enough talent to compete at a high level while also staying within the roster limits and managing injury risks. So, Packers fans, what do you think about this backfield situation? Are you confident in Jacobs as the workhorse? Do you see Lloyd, Wilson, or Brooks stepping up and claiming a bigger role? Or maybe you believe Tyrion Davis-Price can surprise us once he gets more comfortable with the team. Whatever your thoughts, now is the time to get involved. Drop your opinions in the comments below. Your insights and predictions are what make this community so special. Remember, this is a team that's always evolving, always fighting, and always aiming for that Super Bowl glory. And with the way things are shaping up in the backfield, the 2024 season might be even more exciting than we anticipated. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news. We're in the thick of training camp, and every day brings new surprises. Whether it's a player stepping up, an injury update, or a strategic move, we're here to keep you informed and engaged. So keep the faith, stay passionate, and let's see how this story unfolds in the coming weeks. The Packers are building something special, and it's only just beginning. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you in the next update.